Hello, welcome to our March Shotsuki Hoyo. We begin service with ringing of kansho, followed by Reverend Mukojima reading the Shotsuki Honoree names. Then he will lead Sutra chanting of Sanbutsuge. Then the Dharma School 5th and 6th grade class will lead the Six Paramita, and then Sensei will share a Dharma message. Thank you for joining us today.
Namanda Butsu 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 Namanda Butsu. Today, on this occasion of the Mountain View Buddhist Temple's March Shotsuki Memorial Service, we come before the image of Amida Buddha to express our sincere respect for and gratitude to the Shotsuki Honorees. As I read the Shotsuki names, please join me in silent meditation so that we may think deeply on their continuing influence on our lives. Theodore Abe, Robert Arima, Mine Chikasue, Alice Fuji, Satoru Fujikawa, 数を振る書、春や浜本、豊か浜本、関太郎花の内、ヘレン浜崎、正尾林、逸代堀、ロナルド星子、コリユカリア、ルース川口、宮川本、運ぶ小屋の、忍ぶ丸山、ヘレン松本、静子松本、トム松本、メリー前田、アキラ森島、シンティア村中、春子村中、ロイ中谷、リンダ中川、春代中野、ハリー中野、健一中野、六郎中野、秀美中島、駒尾奈良、ロバート西村、静子西村、ジョージ野口、茂岡本、文代岡山、絹子佐々木、レベレン戦勝佐々木、フランク佐藤、金助佐藤、ブレッド杉本、トラ玉地、パトリシア富樫、トーマス竹上、下江山路、吉吉山路、和夫柳瀬、虎尾横山、桐江吉田。Please put your hands together in gassho to show our deepest feelings of gratitude to these deceased family and friends who have brought us together today to encounter the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, 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 Namanda Butsu. Namanda, Vatsanamanda, 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 Vatsanamanda,
And now the 5th and 6th grade will present the 6 Paramitas.
Donna, giving. I shall give unselfishly to others.
Sila, discipline.
I shall follow the teachings of the Buddha.
Shanti, patience. I shall be patient and understanding.
Vidya, endeavor.
I shall do my best in all things.
Sydney. Sydney?
I shall reflect on the teachings of the Buddha.
Prajna, wisdom. I shall seek the light of wisdom.
Please join me in Gasho. Namo Dapsu.
Namo.
Doubts. Namo Dapsu. Now I doubt. Namo Dapsu. No one doubts. No one doubts.
Namo.
Human life is quite mysterious. The only certain things are that we are alive and that we do not live alone. There is always a way to live any life which allows us to live without despair. There is never despair in any life. Namanda, Vatsanamanda, 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 Vatsanamanda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your participation in our March Shotsuki Memorial Service online today. I trust that everyone is staying healthy. It is our temple's custom to have an annual Girl Scout Sunday service in March. This year, on the last Sunday of this month, our Girl Scouts will be hosting the service. So we invite our Sangha members to participate in that special service. And for today, I'd like to ask our pretty friend, Putra, to help me with my talk. Come on, Putra, please show yourself. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. What's up? Hi, Putra. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Today, ahead of the Girl Scout Sunday service, I'd like to talk a little about Hisako Nakamura, who was a true Nembutsu follower of Ryodo Shinshu. She was called the Helen Keller of Japan. Oh, who is that? She was called the Helen Keller of Japan? Was she a person with a disability? Yes, she was. Hisako had no hands and no legs. What? No hands or legs? I cannot believe it. What happened to her, Sensei? Could you tell me? Sure. Hisako was born in 1895 in Takayama, Japan. Unfortunately, when Hisako was 3, she had a serious illness, a kind of severe frostbite on her hands and legs. Because they turned to gangrene eventually, she had to have amputated both of her arms just above the elbow and both of her legs just above the knee. Oh no, I have no words. It's really shocking.
Yes, it is. Sadly, that was not her only misfortune. Hisako's father died suddenly when she was 7. Hisako's mother remarried, but her stepfather abused Hisako terribly. She was also bullied by her stepbrothers and sisters. For example, because she had no hands, Hisako could only eat like a dog does, only using her mouth. So they teased Hisako, constantly saying, "Hey, you are beast." "Oh no, that's terrible. It's unforgivable, Sensei." Yes, it is. Hisako's mother despaired that they couldn't rely on anyone to help them in this sad situation. So she decided to train Hisako very strictly so that she could live independently. Every day, she challenged Hisako to do everything by herself: sweeping, cooking, washing clothes, and so on. She never allowed Hisako to say, "I cannot do it." "Wait, Sensei, Hisako lost both her hands and legs, so she could not do anything by herself." "Why didn't Hisako's mother do anything for her daughter?" "I hate Hisako's mother." "Don't be strict with Hisako. Don't ask Hisako to do the impossible." Yes, I know you're feeling, Bushra. Hisako cried over her mother's sternness. She cried every day. But surprisingly, it was not impossible for Hisako. With practice and more practice, Hisako learned to do anything she had to by herself. For example, she taught herself to eat with the chopsticks by wrapping gauze around her arm stumps. She mastered it first because she didn't want to be called a beast by other kids anymore. She also figured out how to sew. What? She didn't have fingers, so how could she do it? First, she held a needle in her short arm stumps, and holding the thread in her mouth, she pushed the thread through the needle, and she pressed the cloth against the floor with her arm stumps and sewed vertically by holding the needle with her lips and moving her head up and down. Eventually, she made kimono and dolls this way. She also taught herself to write by holding a pen or writing brush in her mouth. And she taught herself to cook. Her mother's harsh training forced Hisako to use her creativity. And with her constant effort and great spirit, she mastered everyday tasks despite her physical handicaps. Wow, how amazing Hisako was! Yes, she was. Hisako's mother knew that in order for Hisako to survive, she must train her daughter to be able to do anything on her own. That's why she was very strict with Hisako. And because of this harsh guidance, Hisako was able to grow up as an independent woman. Wow, I cannot help but respect Hisako's untiring effort and great spirit. But when she became an adult, in order to make a living, the only place she could work was at the circus like a show. She worked as a Dharma girl in a freak show and demonstrated how she could do everyday things like writing and sewing with her hands and legs. But back in those days, society's prejudice against anyone with physical disabilities was really terrible. So Hisako had to suffer unbearable humiliation. Oh no! What did she do to deserve this? Why didn't her efforts pay off? I feel really sorry for Hisako. Understandably, Hisako hated all those around her because she always felt that everyone discriminated against her. But one day, one of the visitors gave her some words of encouragement, saying, "You should be a lotus in the mud." Hisako's mind was lifted by these compassionate words. Soon after that, she read the book of Tanisho and became fully aware of Shinran's words, foolish beings filled with blind passions. Wow, Hisako found Shinran's teaching? That's nice. But what do his words, foolish beings filled with blind passions, mean? That's a good question, Pushra. Shinran's words, foolish beings filled with blind passions, mean to accept your blind passions just as they are. So, Hisako thought deeply about what her blind passions were. Then she recognized that the cause of her blind passions was her own body, without hands or legs. It was also her own handicapped body, which made her hate and envy others. At that realization, she understood that to accept blind passions means that she must accept her handicaps just as they were. So she simply accepted her body just as it was without comparing it to others. In that very moment, her great lament, "I have no arms below the elbow," became instead her deep gratitude for the reality, "I have arms above my elbow." Wow, that's deep. She is amazing, Sensei. Hisako is just like a lotus flower. The lotus grows in the mud, but its flower blooms without pollution, beautifully above the mud. Until encountering the Nembutsu teaching, Hisako always hated so many others because of her anger and jealousy, right? It is as if she were living a polluted life. But by accepting her own body just as it was, Hisako stopped complaining about her shortcomings and instead was able to rejoice in the fact that she has arms above her elbow, right? That's right, Pushra. I'm very impressed with your deep understanding. Very good, Pushra. In 1937, Helen Keller visited Japan to lecture. During her stay in Japan, Helen met Hisako. At that time, Helen learned that Hisako had no hands and no legs, and was very impressed by her great effort and the spirit to overcome all the difficulties she faced. So she praised Hisako, saying, "She suffered more misfortune than I, yet is a much greater person," and gratefully accepted a Japanese doll which Hisako had lovingly made. Wow, that's a beautiful story, Sensei. Hisako said that it was her disability with the hands and legs which made it possible for her to create such a wonderful life. Wow, her strong way of living gives me courage and hope. Yes, me too. She also was deeply grateful even to her body's limitations because it led her to encounter the Nembutsu teaching. Wow, I deeply understand how grateful Hisako felt for her encounter with the Nembutsu teaching, because the Nembutsu transformed her life to one of finding joy and gratitude in any situation. If she hadn't met the Nembutsu, she would have lived a life of complaint and anger. I'm so fortunate to embrace the same Nembutsu teaching, which Hisako truly appreciated. Yes, me too, Putra. In her later years, through her lectures and writing activities, Hisako devoted her life to the establishment of the law for the welfare of physically disabled persons. And she left behind famous poems and quotes which still resonate with so many people. In the opening meditation, I shared with you a beautiful poem written by Hisako, which goes, "Human life is quite mysterious. The only certain things are that we are alive, and that we do not live alone. There is always a way to live any life, which allows us to live without despair. There is never despair in any life." Wow. Thank you, Sensei, for introducing me such a great woman today. I am deeply grateful for her guidance. Hisako teaches us how important it is never to give up hope in any life and to find joy and gratitude in any situation. I think Hisako was a true Nembutsu follower who made her own lotus flower bloom beautifully. I'll try to do my best to live my life in deep joy and gratitude, just as she did. Oh, that's great, Putra. Also, thank you very much, Putra, for your help today. Very good. You did a great job today. Again, everyone, thank you very much for your kind attention today. Please join me in Gassho. Hey, Gassho, please. Human life is quite mysterious. The only certain things are that we are alive and that we do not live alone. There is always a way to live any life, which allows us to live without despair. There is never despair in any life. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you, everyone. Please continue to stay healthy and have a great day. Bye. See ya.
Thank you, Sensei and Putra, for sharing your Dharma message today. If you're joining us in our live watch party following this service watch, we will be having a live Japanese language service in the Zoom main room, and we will have an English language discussion session in a Zoom breakout room. Thank you for joining us today.